Kia ora whānau. Just here doing some environmental monitoring of works going on adjacent to our Wahi Tapu URUPA at 147 Rawhiti Road. So I've just come over to the track and quite sad. This is the plaque that our tangata-whenua haukainga ahika erected. We had a ceremony back in 1994 for the planting of KAURI trees along the fence line, and to recognise and in honour of all the whānau that built the new Cape Breton track. So there were 10 KAURI trees planted, and each KAURI tree had a plaque with the name of the person who planted it, and who also was a part of the Cape Breton track, building the new track. That they were erected next to each KAURI tree. And you know, that was way back in 1994, over 20 years ago. A lot of the KAURI were, you know, they were quite, not huge, but you know, they had grown. And anyway, long story short, the property owner of 147 Rawhiti Road decided that he would come along and desecrate and rip out all the KAURI trees that lined this fence line, in recognition and honour of our tangata-whenua haukainga, who were part of the building of the new Cape Breton track. So I came here a couple of months ago, and this sign, this plaque that was erected by our people, was just thrown on the other side of the fence. So I asked that it be put back, and it was just put by the fence line. I'm not sure what it's doing there. So it was put back along the fence line here, but it's quite misleading because you actually think that, are those the trees that were planted? Obviously not, because the original trees were planted back in 1994, and they would have been way bigger than these. You can tell these are just newly, freshly planted. So the property owner has cleared all of this native land. A lot of it is, you know, it's original native trees, and it's just so pauri, tino pauri, tino mama tuku ngākai, mo tēnei whenua. Look at the debris, the rubbish. So he's just cleared the debris, the trees, and he's just dumped it on the other side. Now, because the property owner also owns that side, he's just taken it upon himself to leave all the rubbish and all the dead trees just there where we walk up the tribal access. I find that quite offensive. You know, to walk past, to get up to our beautiful URUPA, our beautiful Wahi Tapu, we've got to walk past this mess all along the tribal pathway. Now, I came up here the other day just to double check original boundaries based on what we remember as kids when we grew up here, way before the fence was here, way before the stairs were put in by Doc. The original track. So I came up here the other day just to have a look around. Now, you couldn't really notice the puta tree up the top, but a lot of us that grew up here as kids remember that's where the boundary ended. We'd come to the top, go up to that puta tree, all the nannies would rest, have a rest under the shade of the tree. We'd all swing off it, and then we'd carry on to the cemetery. And that pūtakawa tree, the roots of it go right across the track. That's why it ended there. Okay, anyway, back to here. I went up to the pūtakawa tree and I'm sitting there. Next minute, I have an overwhelming feeling to come and dig up over there. I don't know what's in there, but I'm sitting up there on the pūtakawa tree, and then all of a sudden I have an overwhelming feeling to go and dig in that pile of rubbish right there. You know, what could you possibly find in there, eh? You know, it is the most disrespectful thing when tangata-whenua pay honour in memory of a significant event to recognise the people that have been a part of that event. Somebody comes along that has no idea, rips the plaques out. Now, this is the tree, guys. Have a look. You fellas, when you're kids, you must all remember coming up here, and that's the pūtakawa tree. Now the roots over here, remember, we get up over here, step over the roots, walk around the pūtakawa tree, go up the cemetery. Now, originally, the steps ended here, okay? Now, the property owner of 147, actually, I've got photos, I'll have to go through and find them, but he actually extended the boundary from here all the way up to here. So, you know, somewhere along the line, he owns all of this to here. All of that. Now, our access on the maps starts down there. Now we know that's not true. How do you expect people to bring coffins up to the cemetery along the low water mark? So this is the shit that my people have to walk past when we bring Tupapaku up to our Wahi tapu, our sacred burial ground. Now, who Māori would ever leave a mess like that on our tribal walkway? To me, it is utter disrespectful. He continues to desecrate and disrespect our people, the mauri of this whenua and our Wahi tapu. Of all places to put rubbish, look, flats along the track, weeds, debris. That is so disrespectful. He's got all that land there, all that whenua, way up the hill where he's clearing, but he dumps it right where our people have to bring our loved ones out to Papaku and pass this mess. Utterly disrespectful. Nothing but offensive. So we come along here, we walk up here, past this pile of rubbish. I know you can hear me, Julian. You take note, mate. Look at it. Look at that. And he wonders why we take offence to the things he is doing right on our Wahi tapu, sacred land. to get up there. This is what we got to walk past, whānau. Are you cool with that? Are we all good with that? Because I'm not. Okay, so I'm sitting on the pūtakawa tree. I have a flashback of being a kid. Standing up here with my cousins, swinging off this branch. And what brought it back to me was that view. Hanging off that branch, swinging, and seeing that view there. Yeah, it brought it all back to me. I forgot all about it. But this is the original boundary where all our nannies came. Now as I'm sitting here, I'm looking straight ahead of me. And my ahua, my wairua, my tinana is pulled to a pile of dumped rubbish right there. So I walk down here and I start looking and I'm thinking, what could I possibly find? You know, who wants to find a koiwi? Who wants to find a bone? Nobody. You know. So I come all the way down here. And just rubbish, 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 rubbish. It's just rubbish everywhere. Ugly, yuck. Look at it. And this man wonders why we are offended by this. Public access, public walkway, heading to a sacred burial ground. Now, I get in amongst all this shit here, and for some reason, I feel like digging down there. Under all this dirt and shit. And what do I find? I find a plaque. One of the original plaques that belonged on this fence line, where the original kauri were planted to recognise and honour of those whānau tangata-whenua haukainga who built the new track. Okay, this has all been ripped out, bare. Look at it, ugly. So I dig down there, and the first thing I find when I pull back the dirt is a plaque. And on that plaque is my brother-in-law's name, Daryl Davis. It was like digging up a cross out of the ground. Now I found that highly offensive. That our people had a ceremony, we had karakia for these plaques. Some stranger, tauiwi, has come along, taking it upon himself, because he owns there and over there, to not only rip out our kauri trees, but to chuck our plaques on the ground and to bury them. So all the other plaques, whānau, are buried under this, all under this dirt. So I took my brother-in-law's plaque, but no way was I digging up anywhere else. But you know, that's how disrespectful it is. So I'm digging around, looking for my other brother-in-law's plaque. Then he comes over and tells me, Jackie, get off my land. Get off my land. You know, this guy needs to remember that little strip there, that's only a stairway. We own so much either side of that fence and so much either side of this fence, whānau. Don't ever forget that. And he may own this land, but the mauri of the land belongs to us. And that's why, under all this shit and rubbish right next to our walkway, are the plaques in honour of those who planted. I'm really annoyed about it, eh? I wish he would come out right now and front up. So anyway, I left his land in peace, you know, and I said to him, move your shit up there. Oh no, he wasn't worried about that. He's more worried about me and my relationship with Jesus Christ. How stupid is that? You know, instead of just giving me an answer about the rubbish, he wants to talk about my relationship with Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. Don't even go there with me, boy. Don't even go there with me, boy. So, I left his land. Come up here. Told him move your shit. What's all this shit? Come up over here. Reminded him he doesn't own this. He doesn't own this. It's under dock reserve. And I'd just like to remind whānau that, you know, our tūpuna, Ngāpuhi, the tribunal have already determined Ngāpuhi never ceded sovereignty. Our tūpuna did not give up their sovereignty. So really, whānau, dock, council have no jurisdiction on this whenua. It's not a reservation, it's tūpuna whenua. And don't ever forget our tūpuna did not cede sovereignty. So council, Department of Conservation, they have no jurisdiction here. And we need to start taking back ownership and being proactive, exercising our kaitiakitanga, and let it be known that we're not going to put up with this shit whānau. You know, this started in 2013. We're in 2020. It started off with a silly bloody Great Wall of Rawhiti, then it went to a Pūtakawatri. And since then it's just escalated. It's just bullshit. You know, get angry, whānau. Don't kick back and just, you know, oh, what's going on out there? What's going on out there? Ask questions. Go see the man. Ask him. He's so disrespectful and arrogant, culturally insensitive. Who does this on sacred ground? Who builds near or within the site of an archaeological site or kōiwi? Who does that? And you've got to question, how's their relationship with Jesus Christ when they go offending people, breaking cultural laws? I'm really pissed off, whānau, that this has been going on for so long. You know, I sit up at my house and I watch this man, you know, clearing the bush, doing his shit around our wāhi tapu. How much longer are we going to tolerate this whānau? You know, hey, don't forget, our boundary now is way down on the low water mark. Down there. There's our boundary tribal access. That's it there. But we know that's not true. That's not pono. That's not tika. But you know, whānau, if we do not stand up and speak out against the injustices that are happening to our wāhi tapu, we're going to lose it. We're going to end up with that little strip right there, look. Just a little strip all the way out there. But yeah, this is what's going on, whānau. You know, he threatens to ring the police on me. What for? What for? Because my wairua sensed there was something in the dirt over there that I needed to find. Yeah, lock me up for that. Now, all those plaques need to be brought out of that dirt. Otherwise, he needs to replace each and every plaque that was lining this fence line. Now, because they were put under the dirt, you know, how disrespectful. Who would do that? You know, Māoris know you don't tutu with stuff like that. You know, the spiritual backlash. And for a man of the cloth, he's done nothing but offend our people. He's done nothing to try and build a relationship with our people, except to dictate and tell us how it is. Yeah, Look at all that. Beautiful, eh? Yeah, not. I just find that so fucking... You know? Where's the plaque? Where's the plaque? Yeah, down there. Like it's nothing. So, you know, whānau, I'll be playing up again. You'll be hearing me make a noise. Look at that. So, it was buried under the ground. And I found it a couple of months ago and told them to put it back. But look at it. It actually needs to be replaced. And all those plaques in that dirt pile need to be brought out. And I know you can hear me, Julian. Here's the 120-year-old Pūtakawa tree. This is one of the beautifulest, biggest Pūtakawa trees in the bay. All the birds, all the fantails from way up the Cody Grove, they would all come here. You know, nest in this tree, and all you'd hear was the birds. You know, the day he cut that tree in half, yeah, all the birds are gone. Cut it in half, all for that rock wall, Great Wall of Rawhiti. And it's still in breach of the district plan. It's still an illegal wall, and it needs to come down. What's he doing? He ain't worried about the wall or any of his illegal breaches, but he's continuing to desecrate and disrespect our tribal walkway. You know, you gotta ask yourself, how's his relationship with Jesus Christ? How does he sleep at night? You know? Now he's starting to clear up the back. Bloody good luck with that.